All right, everybody, it's time for the End of Chaser Spirits and Beer Pairing Show. It is Wednesday, December the 18th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none of them, Mr. Naughty Samurai and Mr. Beer and Whiskey Whisperer.
The Naughty Samurai. Look at
Naughty
you.
Samurai.
Naughty.
Naughty
So
Samurai.
naughty. Naughty. Well, see, I'm merry and bright.
You're merry and bright.
You're half right.
I just my beer's flying everywhere.
Well, I'm not lit yet, but we'll see how the show goes.
I don't know.
Well, John, you're famous for saying moose balls, but those are moose beers.
These are moose beers. Exactly. Exactly.
Interesting.
100%.
I love that shirt. See, that's a shirt I would own.
See, but my shirt's just vulgar.
It's yours is very vulgar.
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 Great brewery up in New Hampshire.
100%.
Oh, the tree's not on. Hold on a second.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow.
It's a Darth Vader.
It's almost as if he planned to do that on the show.
No, that wasn't planned.
All right.
There
Can we get
go.
started before my water gets cold?
I have my tree right here. So and other holiday decorations.
Paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia. There you go. So yeah, let's start. Tom, your voice getting cold. You go first with your show. With yours.
So
Before you do, tonight's show is comforting Christmas cocktails.
Comforting.
Isn't
So
anything out
here's
with
the
alcohol in
direction
it
I
comforting?
went. The direction I went and the why I went there was I figured at least one of you, if not both of you, were going to do cocoa and or eggnog. So I decided I wanted to go a different direction. And then before Dave tried to change the game, I already kind of planned it around a beer, so I didn't want to change that. So my
All good.
cocktails are based from this beer, and it is the Trog's Mad Elf Holiday Ale with cherries and honey, which is why I have had to do two cocktails, just basically two versions of the same thing. So what I got here, I decided to do a classic hot toddy.
Very nice.
Nice.
You could argue, is it comforting? For me, it is. You come in from the cold, it warms your sinuses. And
No argument at all with a toddy. Toddy's
so I've got.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
I did 4 ounces of hot water. I'm going to use an inexpensive whiskey for this particular application, which is not something I typically do, but
you're gonna heat it up, yeah.
because we're serving it this way, so I put in an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I'm going to put 2 ounces of the bourbon, and the bourbon that I'm using, David, is a Jim Beam Winter Reserve. This isn't a bad, inexpensive bourbon.
No, not at all. Their non-winter reserve is not great, but
No, it's runs about 25, and it's at 86 proof. They say notes of vanilla and honey. And then I'm also, because it's a toddy, I've got to use actual honey.
yeah.
So we're just going to put a squeeze in there. All right, let me show you this, and I'm going to make the second one real quick while Johnny's off the screen here using my Christmas glass.
Let's see that glass. Oh yeah, you did show that earlier. You showed it empty. It's funny. It's very similar to the glass that I've started using for toddies.
So
they're also good for Irish coffees as well.
So I'd use it for that as well. So then, because a hot toddy exists, it made me think that a toddy should exist.
So you're doing a cold toddy.
Yeah. So here's what I got here. Oh, let me set that down for a second here. I made a honey lemon simple.
Okay.
So I've got my honey lemon simple. Instead of putting the honey and the lemon in the cold drink, I thought this would make more sense. So I did a honey lemon simple. So we're going to put about 1.5 ounces of that in here.
So John, what you missed is Tom is doing a hot toddy and a cold toddy.
Hot toddy. The fact that a hot toddy exists told me that a toddy should exist.
And John is mute, so he can't hear a thing.
He can't hear. Okay.
Oh,
I didn't say anything.
anyways.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Oh, you just.
Anyway, so I'm going to use some rye. Then for this particular cocktail, I am going to use some good whiskey. This is the barrel proof 4-finger rye that I picked up back at the end of September on our vacation. It is at 108 proof. Let me show that to you. So I'm going to pour that and get it in my shaker here.
Get a
And try to hurry so you guys can get on with your thing. But since that beer was made with honey and cherries, that's kind of the direction I wanted to go here. And you know, I like a strong drink, so let me get a couple ounces in there. Then I'll show you the presentation. All right, so honey's and cherry. So I wanted to use the lemon with the cherry garnish.
So what's next to the cherry? I didn't quite see that.
Oh, a lemon.
A wedge of lemon. Okay.
Wedge of lemon, yeah.
Yeah, you were showing it edge on, so it was hard to see what it was.
Gotcha. So let me pour this here for you guys, and then let you guys go before Dave's cocktails get both hot and cold.
In the opposite directions that I want them to go.
Yeah. And sláinte.
Very nice. So you're starting off with the hot one, Tom?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock that hot one back, and then I'm gonna drink this one because I think my hot one's now lukewarm.
And Luke Skywalker warned us, the Force is strong with him.
Ah! Still want to waste any of that whiskey there.
And what are you going to do? You're going to do your hot toddy, then some of the beer, then the cold toddy and some of the beer? Or are you going to go hot toddy, beer, hot toddy, cold toddy, beer, cold toddy?
I will probably knock that hot one back because it is probably getting cold. But I'm going to pour you some beer right now because I want to show you my glass. You know I'm festive. You know I like to be festive. So
you're all festive and shit. Yeah,
I got the Christmas glasses out. So I'm going to pour what you guys call rocket fuel.
Yep.
I just don't find this beer harsh. To me, it's just easy to drink. But what do I know? I'm a professional. Don't try this at home, kids. I've been at this a while. Oh, I don't know if I got a chance to share this with you, though. And I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, and I apologize. But I just had my yearly physical, and my heart rate was perfect. My cholesterol was down, but good cholesterol was up. And this is the best part: perfect kidney and liver function.
Always perfect. Always
Not bad for a 59-year-old man that works at a brewery, huh?
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Anyways, sorry I took so much time there. Go ahead.
Oh, good.
No.
Good. You first there, Samurai.
Well, I've got my my eggnog here. If you can see, there's my eggnog.
Mm-hmm.
I had it in the freezer, so now I kind of have an eggnog cream. I'm not kidding. Look, it's gotten a little thick.
It's gotten a little thick.
It starts off thick to begin with, but when you put it in the freezer for a little bit, there's some liquid underneath all that. So good. Yeah. So what I do, people who've known me for a while know full well what I do with my eggnog. There's amaretto in my eggnog.
Now it's in what you're drinking right there.
Mm-hmm.
You've already made it.
Yep. So it's pre-made. So it's pre-made.
There's amaretto in your eggnog. See, okay. Continue.
Yeah, it's not spiked. It's made with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off with yolks, eggnog.
The yolk's on you.
Yes, it starts off with the yolks and the amaretto, and some vanilla and nutmeg, and then the cream and the milk go in there.
Right.
That gets mixed up. Then that comes out of the stand mixer, and then the whites go in with some sugar to get them good and foamy. And you
let the police department or the ambulance corps bring the eggnog.
Well, no, they found out that I've made some eggnog and some cocoa, so they're hurrying to get
some.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So, because you can't park here unless you got the lights going, so they're here for that.
There you go.
But yeah, and then the two get combined into this nice creamy mixture, and this is the way I like to do it. And what Tom was talking about me mixing things up, because I'm doing a cocoa and an eggnog. I mean, this does fill it. I couldn't. And I don't really have too much by way of beer to really mix with, pair with an eggnog. Mm-hmm. So, but to pair with it, I figured one of my favorite things to pair with eggnog is a snickerdoodle.
That's always good.
Nice.
Always good. Always.
So, not wanting Dave to be left out, my wife fixed me a little candy snack plate that she made. I got some butter cookies, bourbon ball, homemade fudge, and pecan pie bites. I don't know if you can see that.
There you go. That's very nice. Well, these are probably about 2 hours old. Made
very
nice
nice.
Earlier.
Oh, nice.
So
so good, so buttery, and
there you go. So as I have said before, and Davis,
Ooh.
obviously I do.
check this out. I can scoop up my eggnog with it.
There you go.
Look at you.
I make my own eggnog, but I don't make it with alcohol in it. I just make eggnog, and then I add the alcohol, obviously, right?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So,
So
you,
I
so you
have-
spike it.
I spike the eggnog, right? So I made my eggnog, and I'm doing 2 eggnogs tonight, okay? In honor of Samurai's first eggnog with what he puts in it. Remind everybody again what it is.
Amaretto
Amaretto
di Serrano.
di Serrano, right? Exactly. So I got in here Amaretto di Serrano, and my garnish, just a little bit of nutmeg on top. There we go. Just enough to show that. And cheers.
Launch it.
Now, Dave will know that this is actually a true story. I have yet to actually, because I always pour bourbon in my eggnog, and that's what I'm having second. But because he puts Amaretto in his, I decided to do it for the first one. It's the first time I've ever tasted Amaretto in eggnog. And Dave, I think you're right. I think I might. I'm still going to do the bourbon, but I think I might do this every now and then.
You got it's just.
Why can't you mix them both? A little amaretto, a little bourbon.
I don't know how that would be.
Still give you that nuttiness, but add that little alcohol that you need.
That's true. And
Might have to try that at some point.
And I made this the other night too. So I figured since Dave was having snickerdoodles and I'm having two eggnogs, obviously, name me a beer other than an eggnog IPA, which I'm not having. That's
Which is why I didn't go eggnog or cocoa, guys. 'Cause
Right.
I knew you didn't. No sense 3 of us drinking eggnog.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm pairing it with dessert as a snack, but dessert as well. And when I make my eggnog, I make an eggnog pie. All right. So this is a piece.
Nice.
This is a piece of my eggnog pie.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Oh, wife.
Homemade by me. I made this.
So off camera, can you send me that recipe so I can send it to my wife?
Absolutely.
That looks beautiful, man.
It is fantastic.
Eggnog pie. That looks
Eggnog pie.
delicious.
Yeah, you got to share that with us.
Absolutely. We'll do. We'll put that up there. Oh, so good. All right. Well, there you go. So I'm eggnogging out over here. So that's good. So, Asher, that's the hot toddy you're drinking first, right?
Yeah, I'm finishing up the hot before it cools down on me too much.
How's that going with the beer, Tom?
Well, let's find out, Dave.
Oh, you haven't done it yet.
Well, I'm not one right after the other, but yeah. By golly, it works.
Very nice.
So I use probably more lemon in my hot toddy than most. I put a full ounce, but it does balance with this beer nicely. That
Very
tartness with this particular beer, it does work.
Well, in that beer, you have, you have cherries, you have honey, you have a little rocket fuel.
It's delicious. I love this beer, man.
No, it's really good. And by the way, I did check the dates. The date. Remember, we were trying to decide what, and you picked that up when you picked it up. If it was last year's or if it was an early release of this year's. It was an early release of this year's. You actually have the new.
Oh, okay. I just figured since it was September, that was probably last year sitting on the shelf. But
maybe they've calmed it down a little bit.
I mean, 11% beer, I'm not worried about.
Right.
If it was last year.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, those beers are less. Like I said on that show we talked about. I have that, and that was on the Log Guys, the holiday beer show.
Yeah.
Back just before Thanksgiving. But whenever I buy a 6-pack of Mad Elf, which I do every year, I'll have 1 or 2 of the new ones just to see, if that year's is high octane or not, and so forth and so on, flavored, or if it needs to rest. But whatchamacallit? But I always save at least 4 of them and drink them the next year and even the second year. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
The ones that are the best for me is the ones that are a year old. The ones that are 2 years old, the ones that are 2 years old, they're good, but not as good. Like things have faded, right? And not a lot. They're still there, but they're not as prominent as they were. 1 year. 1 year is a good age for that.
Did you lose the cherry notes?
Well, not in the first year. The second year, yes.
But see, that's what
Really?
I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said one is better than two, so the cherry drops off after year two.
After a year, yeah.
That would be my
I'm gonna-
guess. Yeah.
I'm going to move to my second drink. My second drink is in my festive R2D2 mug.
Because when I think Christmas, I think R2D2.
Hey, my clapper is a Darth Vader clapper.
Exactly.
But what
I have Star Wars ornaments.
Did he
Anybody
just
want
say
to-
Darth Vader had the clap?
He did.
Because that's what I heard. I heard Darth Vader had the clap. That's what I
Well-
heuld.
Yeah, it was for that trip he took with you to Tijuana, Tom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember.
I can't. The wife's in the room. I can't talk about that.
That. Well, there is some. Right around the back of the tree, there is a X-wing fighter and a Millennium
Right.
Falcon.
But I do have Star Wars ornaments. I'll give you everybody three
Those are-
guesses. And who bought them for me?
I'm using that hollow stem coupe, David.
Very good. Very nice.
I love this glass. I don't know why. There's just something about this glass I like.
I'm going to guess Jess.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Who bought them for you? I don't know who bought them
It's
for
one of the three people on this show.
you.
Oh,
You bought them for
it
yourself.
wasn't me. It must have been David.
It wasn't me.
No, I sent them. I found those in
Rhode Island.
first year in Rhode Island,
Mm-hmm.
and sent them off to John. So, but anyway, so I've got my R2D2 festive mug. I'm going to rip his head off. 'Cause that way I can drink. The cocoa's in there, but the cocoa's not quite done yet because cocoa, you either need marshmallows or you need.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I put both in because I'm just kind of mad that way. I put the marshmallows in first, let them melt, then the whipped cream on top.
So there we go.
I am not bound by convention.
Actually, what Carrie does, she actually just stirs fluff in. Doesn't have to wait for the marshmallows to melt.
Oh really? No, I've never tried that, but that kills the
Makes
middleman.
sense.
Yeah.
My mind went in a different direction with that.
Mm.
Oh, you dirty old man, you.
But this, of course, is made also with amaretto.
Yep.
So the one thing that I found out pretty early on when I started making like more adult cocoa is that cocoa powder, blending cocoa powder into milk is that's a fool's errand right there. It's really, really hard to do. You get cocoa all over the place. You splash the milk all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
However, you pour amaretto on top of cocoa powder, it dissolves into it instantly.
Really? I'd never known that.
It's so much easier. So that's what I do. It's the cocoa powder and the sugar go in first, then the amaretto and the vanilla.
This is a fun and informative show.
I'm
There
telling
we
you.
go. And then once that's all stirred up and smooth, then the heat comes on and then the milk goes in.
The heat
Nice.
comes on.
And also, I like to put a little bit of cinnamon in. And
I like that.
Also just a touch of cayenne pepper.
So you're
Just-
almost doing a Mexican hot chocolate, huh?
Exactly. Now, last time I did it, not this time, but the last time I did, I had a little too much cayenne in it. It was a little spicy. This is about the perfect amount right here.
Nice.
Oh, and also, one thing that's important to hot cocoa,
Mhm.
just like it is to brownies and chocolate chip cookies and all that,
Sure.
just a pinch of salt.
Just a pinch of salt.
You got to get that in there to enhance everything.
So I just dipped my butter cookie into my Mad Elf. Let's see what we got.
Again, my mind went in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, yes.
It
If you
works.
dip the
I
butter-
like it. I'm gonna dip my butter cookie in my Mad Elf one more time.
tell you, dipping a butter cookie into an elf will make it mad.
Yeah, if the elf wasn't mad before you dipped the butter cookie in, it's certainly mad then.
Oh yeah. We're not talking about Secca again, are we? Or Shaka.
Second. Yeah.
But Secca, yes.
You
No,
guys are so
check-
wrong. You're
check
so
it.
wrong.
Yeah, it's Sheka. It's Sheka.
Mm,
Not Shaka.
no, not Shaka.
Not Chakra.
Shaka
Not
Khan.
not
Shaka Khan.
Shocker. Although I
But it would be a bit of a shock. once
a
you
little
figure out
bit.
what-
Exactly.
Oh, I like this.
I love putting my butter cookies in my Mad let it go, Tom.
All right. And the second eggnog with bourbon, and to be specific, Buffalo Trace bourbon.
That's
Trace, there you go.
nice and traditional right there.
Yeah, I do. That's what I do every year. That's Buffalo Trace goes in it.
So you
can
like
use
that
anything,
weeded
but,
bourbon? Then I'm guessing you like the weeded bourbon.
I
He typically likes a higher rye than that. It's just
right.
I think for these applications, it's
For
the
this.
weeded, right? Yeah.
Yep. So,
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I want that traditional bourbon with that rye content because the eggnog, the cocoa is sweet enough. I want that traditional bourbon that isn't quite as sweet.
yeah, I do. While I do like the amaretto, it definitely did go over well for me, and I did definitely appreciate it. This is definitely, this is my favorite. It's so
That's
good.
your tradition.
That's my tradition.
Now, there's people that I know that for some unknown reason
Mm-hmm.
put 7 bourbons in their eggnog.
7 bourbons.
I don't know why you need more than one.
Is that like
No.
a tradition like the 7 fishes? To do the
No.
7 bourbons?
I've never
Yeah,
heard
maybe.
of that. No, I know a traditional Tom and Jerry uses a rum and brandy mix.
Yeah, but that's 2 different alcohols. When you're using the same alcohol and 7 different versions of it, are you going to taste any difference?
Yeah, see, that doesn't make sense to me. I've never heard
Makes
that.
no sense to me, and I think it's really just like a bragging kind of thing. Well, I've got 7 bourbons in mine. I've got 9.
You know,
It's just kind of like one up and
How about
shit.
just
and
put
I-
7 ounces of one bourbon?
I figured it out. I figured it out. Whoever the person that first did it, and I almost said the guy that first did it, but let's face it, it could be a guy or a girl. So the person that first did it had 7 different bourbon bottles and only a small drop of bourbon left in each.
Yeah, there you go.
So they emptied all 7 of them and got 1 ounce of bourbon out of all 7 of them and pour the eggnog in. There you go.
So I'm wondering how my fudge would be dipped in my Mad Elf. So I'm now putting my fudge in my Mad Elf.
Just as long as you don't want to dip your Mad Elf in fudge. All right.
He's going to get us canceled. Don't dip your butter cookie in the Mad Elf's fudge.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Definitely
no.
don't want to do that. So
Oh, you guys are so wrong.
Tom,
Yeah.
you need this hat.
100%. Yeah, you should be wearing it tonight.
I may be naughty, but in a very nice way.
That's not what the elf said.
So I was at just quick aside, really quick, spirits wise, a little chat. I was at Total Wine the other day, and I was talking to this one guy. He's definitely like minded with me as far as his bourbons and ryes and what he appreciates and what he likes. His recommendations are spot on with mine. I've known him for a while, and I was BSing with him, and they just got this in, or not too long ago, anyway. And it's called Oregon Spirit Distillery.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and I've never had it before, but they have a bourbon and they have a rye. So before I, and it's not. I mean, it's not. It's not a $30 bottle, or I think it's a $60 bottle, maybe. In the 50s anyway, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think it's about a 60 because I've had the bourbon, but I haven't had the rye.
Part of it might be that transportation fee, Johnny.
This is very true. But they did have singles. So I picked up, and the next show in January, I'll have this, or I shouldn't say next show in January. The next show that we do something that I can put rye in, I will save it for that, and I will have it then. And I'll let you know. Or I might just have it before and decide whether it's good, and then buy a bottle of it and have it on the show.
Now I'm dipping my butter cookie in my toddy.
Okay.
And then later I'm going to dip my fudge in my toddy and we'll see what happens.
Dip your toddy in your fudge.
I'm just waiting for the pecan log to get dipped in something. Oh no, it's a bar. It's a bar, not a log.
Pecan pie bites.
Yeah, pecan log. That's a Stuckey's thing.
Pecan log, Stuckey's thing. Yep,
I haven't been to a Stuckey's in
Stuckey's
ages.
Nut House.
unbelievable.
Yeah, we don't have Stuckey's in Jersey. I think.
No.
I now have sprinkles in my Mad Elf. My Mad Elf now has sprinkles on it.
North Carolina, I think, is the closest.
North Carolina might be the closest Stuckey's. Yeah, there might be one in Virginia.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen them in Virginia, but that doesn't mean they're not there.
Yeah, there might be one.
Although, yeah, I've been trying to think because when we went from Richmond to Asheville a couple of years ago, we didn't go down 95 and across, right? We went kind of catty-cornered out towards Winston-Salem and then on from there. And it was like it was a highway, but it was a rural highway, right? So it wasn't like this interstate. for some of the way. And there was definitely a Stuckey's we passed. I just don't remember whether it was still in Virginia or if it was after we had already gotten into North Carolina.
There's actually two. There's one not too far from Williamsburg, and there's one on the Delmarva Peninsula, but that's not the closest one to us, John.
It's not.
There is actually one right off 95, right at the Connecticut-Rhode Island border, which is
right?
interesting. Yeah, because it's near West.
Oh, excuse me.
It's near Westerly,
It's near Westerly,
right?
which is interesting because I was thinking of Westerly earlier because we were talking about eggnog IPAs. I've only ever had one that I've ever
Gray Sale.
enjoyed. Gray Sales Eggnog IPA is actually the only one I've ever enjoyed. Here comes the brownie. There goes the brownie.
Fudge
again.
in the fudge in the toddy. I put the fudge in the toddy, baby.
See, and he didn't want to do desserts or snacks.
Yeah. And he's,
No, I
He's
didn't say
having
I
a
didn't
ball
want
with
to do
them.
snacks. I didn't ever say I didn't want to do snacks. I just said I had to have the beer.
Beer, right?
Yeah,
That's,
the beer.
that's true. True enough. You did.
I've already finished.
Now I've got fudge in my toddy.
sounds like a personal problem.
If you've got toddy in your fudge, you should see your doctor.
If
Though.
you got fudge in your if you got fudge in your toddy. All right. We aim to have fun on this show. And we hope you do too. We hope you do.
Now I'm having peanut M&Ms. Apparently, peanut M&Ms are the healthiest candy, unless of course you've got a peanut allergy.
Boy, that fudge is delicious.
Then they're not that healthy.
That's pretty funny.
It's as good as that candy.
Uh,
Oh, sorry, I was talking to my wife real quick. She made some. We were in Columbus and actually Dublin, Ohio. We stopped at this rather pricey candy shop. We bought some fudge that was so good, but the fudge my wife made is every bit as good as that, if not better. She is good,
Nice, very nice. This was fun.
and it tasted good in my Mad Elf.
There you go.
There you go.
I definitely enjoyed doing these comforting Christmas cocktails tonight.
I did too. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Are we going to do another show before New Year's? I guess is my question.
No, I don't think so. We're scheduled for 2 weeks from now, which would be the first Wednesday in
January,
bummer.
which is also the 1st of January.
Because a New Year's
Day.
a New Year's cocktail
Yes, it is.
show would be a lot of fun.
It's New Year's Day.
So New Year's Day. Are any of us going to be in any condition on New Year's Day to do a show?
No, most likely not. No.
Most likely not. So
In fact, I just found out. I thought we were going to be closed because we're usually closed on Tuesday, but they want to open on New Year's Eve just from 2 to
Smart.
7, limited hours. So, of course, I volunteered for the shift because I know nobody else would.
Sure.
Well, that's smart.
And I like the money, man.
No, you gotta love it. You gotta do it.
Well, a New Year's cocktail show. If we do one, retro to the date, would it be like a champagne cocktails or?
Well, I guess it's how you interpret what a New Year's cocktail would be.
Well, you think New Year's, you think champagne.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, I grew up more
Coffee.
middle class, so I don't think champagne, but that makes sense.
Would you think of a Schaefer?
Yeah,
Was Schaefer the champagne? No, was it or Miller?
Miller's the champagne of beers.
Miller is the champagne.
Yeah, Miller's and champagne of beers, yeah. But that would be a great idea. Do a Miller with a shot, yeah. Do a rock gut shot with a Miller beer. That would be great.
There you go. That's a champagne toast.
So Schaefer
Is the one beer to have.
So when you're having more than one, right? Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yeah, that's the one.
Do they
My
still have
beer
Schaefer?
is Rheingold, the dry beer.
Yes.
Buy Rheingold wherever you buy beer.
Well, my
It's not
first beer
bitter,
was
not sweet. It's the extra dry treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
my first beer was an Olympia because that's what my dad drank.
Gotcha.
There
They
you
do
go.
still make Rheingold and Schlitz and Schaefer, but it's not Rheingold and Schlitz and Schaefer. It's
Yeah.
It's the company that bought up all the brands that
Yeah, that
re-released.
sucks though because
Yeah.
they're not those same beers anymore.
I mean, they modeled them after those recipes, so they're
One.
I
But
mean,
they've made some. Yeah, they've cut some costs and used cheaper ingredients.
One of the originals that I missed was of Schmidt's.
Schmitz.
Oh yeah, I used to drink a lot of Schmidt. Yeah.
That was a good one. I think I drank mostly because I was a big fan of Mike Schmitz at the time.
Mike Schmidt. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
He's a hell of a player.
He was.
Uh,
Players were tough back then, man.
Exactly.
yeah.
And Mike Schmidt, but Schmidt, didn't they release that one beer in that commercial that they did with Chris Farley and Adam Sandler?
Did they? Down in the.
No, it was on
Man,
SNL. It was a skit. It was on SNL.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember it? Schmidt's
No, I
gay. Schmidt's gay.
Oh, okay, yes. And
If you're
Chris
thirsty and you're gay, it was Phil Hartman doing the
Ah!
Farley had the thing tied around his neck.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they take their glasses off and they look at each other, right? And it was all guys jumping in a pool in banana hammocks. So in
And
speedos.
Chris Farley was wearing a speedo.
I don't know if he was.
No.
Was he?
Was he?
I think
No,
so.
don't
Yeah,
think
I think he was. Yeah.
that was a funny skit, but anyway. I digress. We all digress. So cool. So how was your how overall would each of you say your comforting Christmas cocktails that we did today turned out?
Well, I'm rather comforted. I don't know. Yeah, I'm feeling nice and warm and toasty.
Well, you're sitting right next to the fire, so of course you are.
Yeah.
He's getting more radiation off that fire than he is heat.
I'm gonna have a little bourbon to pair with my bourbon ball here.
Well, there you go.
Well, you drink enough bourbon, of course you're gonna have a bourbon ball. I mean, you know.
You're gonna you definitely have a ball.
I've got the Hinterland maple syrup barrel finish whiskey from Tiakida right here in Springfield. Local, I'm all about the local.
All about that local.
All about the local. Cool. Very, very,
So,
very nice.
Let's see if I dip my balls in my bourbon, see what happens here.
There we go. It might tingle a little bit.
Might be a little tingly.
My balls going in my bourbon.
And let's see, how does that work for you?
It's delicious. There's bourbon on top of bourbon. How would that not work? And it's a maple bourbon, so I'm putting maple on top of bourbon ball.
You should have seen.
Damn, I'm a genius. I don't know why people don't understand that. I am brilliant.
Well, your shirt says so.
It does.
I'm merry and bright.
The excuse me.
You're right there.
I'm surprised the coughing didn't turn the Christmas tree off. It has before, trust me. Yeah, you should have seen the show yesterday, Tom. It was National Maple Syrup Day, so we had some maple syrup beers, and we did our top 3 beers and maple. So,
oh, nice. Oh, shit.
and that was with Marty Nashel. So we had a lot of fun.
Marty's great. Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. He's not a big fan of maple in beer, but he still came up with a few.
He did.
He's one of the best beer guys out there, man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he'll be what do you say? February 8th, they'll be releasing the list of the inaugural inductees into the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So we did not get any scoop as to who any of them were. We just know who the nominees were.
Oh, nice.
So
exactly.
Well, Marty ought to be included.
I have a feeling he recused himself.
That would be
yeah. I guess I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a humble guy, so I'm pretty certain he recused
He
himself.
really is. Yeah.
So, alrighty.
All right. Yeah, it was a very fun show last night. We did enjoy it. That was good.
Mercy.
Done with your eggnogs there, John?
I am done with both of them, and I finished my eggnog pie too. I actually finished my eggnog pie. I had one bite of it left when I started drinking my my second one. So
I still got a little Matt Elf left.
there you go.
It's not mad anymore. It's just kind of a little ticked off,
But
but
a little ticked off.
it's just a little peeved, but nevertheless. But only
Perturbed
because I
elf.
dipped my fudge in it.
Perturbed elf. Perturbed elf.
Did enough time, you might be a satisfied elf.
Miffed elf.
Miffed elf.
Just a little miffed elf.
Yeah.
Elf having a tizzy.
Well, what was it? Fegley's did release Rude Elf,
Yep.
and they got a C&D from Trogs.
Which
So-
makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. You can't. Elf is a standard thing. You can't really claim ownership of Elf.
Yeah.
And Mad and Rude.
Mhm.
No one's going to confuse them. So I don't understand why that happened and why it was allowed.
I don't know. Don't know. But
Excuse me.
in any event, I think
Oh,
I
goodness.
think Trogs makes and sells a lot more Mad Elf than Fegley's ever did of Rude Elf. So
This is true.
anyway,
Well, I got to tell you, Dave, I wanted to keep my beer, but I'm glad you added the snacks. That was nice.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
I'm glad you enjoyed dipping your stuff in things.
Oh, you have no idea how satisfied I am.
And the elf will never sit down the same way again.
the Elf is never going to sit the same way again. Nope, not at all.
Oh, but he's got a smile on his face, baby.
Satisfied Elf. There you go.
That's what I said earlier. That's what I said
Satisfied.
earlier.
Satisfied Elf. I'm doubling it. I'm agreeing with you. That's what it is.
Oh, fucking duck.
Yeah, all right. Fucking duck.
Oh, now we're into other things. Okay.
That's a whole nother show there, Tom.
I'm not quite sure that's legal.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't know. He lives in the Ozarks. It might be.
Yeah. These are strange times we live in.
Oh, well, apparently, let's see. Where's my battery power?
Do we not have any comments today?
No comments
No, we
today.
have not.
Oh, that's a bummer.
We have one
We-
like.
we were saying some funny shit. People
We
need
have-
to be paying attention.
We have one like from Chuck Aaron of Jersey Girl Brewing.
Let's see. I've got 19% battery left. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can. We should be good to roll it up soon. But so before we close out the show, next week on the log room, guys, we have our annual traditional Christmas week show.
Yeah.
And on it, traditionally, is Dave's brother.
I know
Oh,
him.
yeah.
I know him as well. Not as well as you do, but I know him. And what you call it? He comes on, and Tony Alacron Drury will be on the show as well from Far West Texas.
Nice.
Yes.
So it's going to be an interesting show. Fun as always. Santa Alacron, right? Santa Alacron.
Santacron?
Or Santa Cron or Alacron Claus.
Alacross?
Forget.
Alacross? I don't know. We'll have to
We'll
ask
have to
him.
figure it out, but he probably will be in dressed.
I'll be
in,
disappointed if he's not.
I'll be disappointed if he's not too, but we'll cross that bridge next week. But Tom, will you be watching? The show is Monday too. It's not on Christmas Eve. Obviously, it won't be a Tuesday. The next 2 week shows will be on Mondays.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Um,
Well, unfortunately, I'm working that Monday. I work till 9 that Monday.
fair enough.
Just throw it up on one of the TVs in the bar.
Throw it up on one of the TVs in the bar.
So we're one of those breweries that don't have any TVs.
Bring one in.
And that's why it's called Banter Brewing. We want people to talk to each other. Now there's no TVs in the joint, really.
There you
Well,
go.
if you put TV up and you put our show, you will see banter.
There you go. You'll see plenty of banter. And if it's slow and you pull out your phone, we'll be there.
There you go.
Right.
I'll try. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Any encouraging or festive words of enjoyment for the holiday season for our listeners before we go?
When you're with family, avoid talking politics. That's
Always a good thing.
But unless you've got two people that you know on different sides, and you go and you start something, and you just walk away.
And walk away and sit back and watch.
So yeah, I like the way you think, David.
That's
I like the way
always
you think.
always entertaining.
Then it's a tennis match.
Oh
Then it's
yeah.
like, you don't even have to give your opinion. You can just say, "What do you think about blah 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 blah," and back up
Yeah, and then just walk away.
And
walk away.
go.
and go.
Always fun.
I gotta love it. Gotta love it.
So
That's
I'm happy it's just going to be the wife and I. So I'm not dealing with any relatives. It's just her and I. So
Relatively
We're good.
speaking, that can be a good thing.
relatively, I see what you did there.
Not just a hat rack, my friend.
So there are times.
I have my moments. There you go. All right. Well, gents, on that note, this has been a great inaugural year of the End of Chaser podcast. Not at our 1 year anniversary by any means. Obviously, we started in March.
We started.
Oh yeah, okay. I
In
couldn't
March.
remember when we started.
We
Actually,
started in
yeah.
March. But this was our 17th show. So and there's been a couple other pop-up ones as well here and there. A couple on the pub we did, and so forth and so on.
Yep.
And a couple of special ones we did on Bourbon Day and National Distillers Day. So we've had 19 or 20 shows, but of the actual show, same as the Lager Room guys, right? This is our actual 17th, actual show, not just special show. But it's been fun doing this, and look forward to many more of these next year. We got some interesting and fun things, exciting things that we're doing in 2025 with the End of Chaser podcast. More on that in the new year.
Yeah, we'll be drinking.
Well, we'll be drinking and doing some other things regarding our drinking.
Regarding somebody got a word of the day calendar.
There you go. All right.
In Ray.
Anyway, all right. On that note, we'll wrap up the show. Today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website. All of the End of Chaser info is always going to be on the Lager Room website, which is www.lagerroom.com. It's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on Facebook at End of Chaser. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Lager Room channel. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on Facebook and YouTube every other Wednesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the End of Chaser podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful Hanukkah. Have a wonderful everything you celebrate, and have a happy
Merry Festivus. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Festivus.
Don't forget Yule.
Don't forget Yule.
And Solstice.
For those winter solstice people. But Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all of the other things that follow. And most importantly, have a happy, healthy, and safe new year. And we will talk to you in 2025, folks. Cheers.
Sláinte.
There you go. All right.
You're the man.
And now it's a holiday.
David, you're the man.
All right.
You gotta.
Got it.